When Pokemon Go was just released, I remember going downtown, seeing all these kids on their phones, and then screaming, "Oh my gosh! There's a Dragonite by the bridge! Everyone! There's a Dragonite by the bridge!" There wasn't a Dragonite by the bridge. I love pranking people. For a person half awkward and half anxious about human interaction, I usually turn to jokes, memes, and pranks as a way to connect to people I feel comfortable with. But unlike memes and jokes, sometimes pranks don't go well. So last year I was dorming with 3 dudes in an apartment. For the sake of anonymity, let's call him Edward, Chad, and Ron. We'll start with Edward. Edward was this hyper-social networking business major. He had connections with literally everyone. He was the guy that knew a guy that knew a guy that knew a guy. Edward was also one of the most genuine people I'd ever met. However, Edward never did his freaking dishes. At the end of each day, there'd be something like a dozen unwashed dishes and pans, and they all were Edward's. Eventually, Chad and I got super fed up with this, so I decided to pull a little prank. Chad and I both grabbed a bunch of sticky notes, wrote bad puns and jokes about doing the dishes on each one, and then rapid fire slapped them all over the walls of Edward's room. Mind you, I thought the jokes were pretty tame and that Edward would appreciate the puns, but that same night, Ed knocked on my door and genuinely apologized over the fact that he felt he couldn't do anything right with his life. Man, that got depressing. See, the thing is that he had actually gone through a breakup the week earlier, and I'd completely forgotten, so what I thought would be a harmless prank lightly crushed whatever remained of his confidence. Sorry, Edward, but hey, the past weekend I think I saw him dating a different girl, so I'm glad that things got better for you, buddy. A couple months later, I tried to pull a prank on Chad. Chad was alright. Chad was a music major. I got along with Chad. One day I thought it'd be funny if I took some of Chad's groceries and hid them inside my personal refrigerator in my room, so I went ahead and took 2 of his eggs and waited by the dining table to see him freak out over the fact that some of his things were gone. Chad didn't care. See, when someone is negatively impacted by my pranks, I feel bad. But when someone ignores my pranks, I feel extra bad. Like, you know, like the ignored kind of bad. A couple months later, Chad left his box of ham and cheese in the refrigerator, and they were starting to rot and smell funny. I'd asked him several times before for him to clear it out, but he didn't. So this called for a prank! I went ahead and took the box into his room, emptied out his backpack, and put the box into his backpack. Then I made a trail of napkins leading from the refrigerator to his backpack, and then I decorated the backpack to look like a little bag monster. I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of funny and cute if like the backpack came to life, you know, and like ate his ham and cheese, so Chad still didn't care. So you're probably going, wow, Phonic, your pranks, they really suck. And at the time, I thought so too. So I told myself, one final prank on my roommates, one final prank for my sophomore career, one more prank! Ron, if you're watching this video, I'm really sorry about the prank I pulled on you. Ron was an extremely accomplished, hardworking, magical genie RA that I lived together with. He was super friendly, gave the best advice, and was super popular and loved by everyone. But really, the most important thing I want all of you to know was that he's Christian. And knowing this, I decided to pull a little prank. One day I woke up and found bananas littered all over the common area floor of the apartment. Bananas. Lots and lots of bruised bananas. Chad and Ron were also up and about, and literally none of us knew how the bananas got there. Once Chad and Ron were gone for classes, Edward then woke up and wandered into the common area and explained that he decided to spontaneously buy all these bananas from the cafeteria because he had too many meal plan points and didn't want to waste any of them. Seriously, dude? Why bananas? At that precise moment, I had a brilliant idea. See, Ron didn't know how the bananas got there. So Ron left the door to his room open, so Edward and I went in and proceeded to turn his room from an organized mess into organized crime. We went around flipping all the pictures and posters he had in his room upside down, changed the order of his blanket sheets, turned on his night lamp, moved around his stuffed animals, took his 2 bags of chocolate, emptied them out, and put each one into the other bag, dressed his pillow in his shark onesie, grabbed his bottles of wine and put them next to his newly dressed pillow, and put up all these little note cards around the room that said, "Join the cult." And then finally, I took all the bananas from the floor and arranged them into the shape of a pentagram in the center of Ron's room. I'm not exactly sure why I thought this would be funny, but I remember snickering like a little idiot until Ron came back and immediately started screaming, "Phonic! Phonic, was this you? Did you do this? Did you do this?" And I remember letting out a little awkward laugh and thinking to myself, man, this was a lot funnier in my head. See, the thing is, Ron didn't go to church that week, and he was afraid that some spiritual being would descend upon his life and ruin it. So I guess when he saw the banana pentagram, he thought that it was because he didn't go to church. But you know, for each of my failed attempts at pranks, we all ended up laughing about them in the end. And that's why I love pranks so much. Succeed or fail, it usually helps bring people closer together. Usually. Hi guys! Truth is, I'm so tired. This was supposed to go up yesterday, but for some reason my audio recordings disappeared, so I had to re-record everything. Also, I know that it's a bit unusual for Utaite to post this kind of stuff, since most only upload music. However, I've always wanted to try telling stories and doing skits for fun. It's kinda lonely to just be, you know, singing songs into a microphone for several hours a week, so I figured I'd give it a shot. This doesn't mean I'm gonna stop posting music though. I've got some really creative covers in the works. In fact, I'm working on one right now that'll be up this Friday, if not Saturday, because I'm really tired. I've gotten something like 3 hours of sleep last night, so just think of these little vlog type things as bonus content. Anyhow, that's all from me. Later, guys!